Hello friends, thanks for coming by to Page Chewing. Hope you all had a great week. This is my weekly update. It's where I talk about what I've been reading, what I'm going to read, what I won't get to, and everything else in between. If you'd like to connect with me, the best places on our forums at pagechewing.com. Come by and say hello. We have a front page blog, and we also have some forums that we talk about all the stuff I'm about to talk about. So come on by, say hello. We have a small, tightly knit community there that is just wonderful, wonderful people. And I'm really grateful to be a part of it. And so come on by and say hi. I can also be found on Page Chewing Comics and Manga, and also on Film Chewing. Those can both be found on any major podcasting platform. That extra hour of sleep really got to me, I guess. So first, let's talk about what I read last week. I am reading The Fugitive Prince. I'm a little bit behind on that one, but really enjoying that series. We're reading with the group, and I have to catch up, so I'm behind on that. This last week, I also finished The Entangled Life. Really interesting book. I think, I have more thoughts coming soon. I'll be releasing every chapter will be a day, and I'll release in order on the podcast probably this coming week. I'm waiting for my podcasting upload allowance to clear because I got a little carried away last month, and I'm like 10 hours over, so got a little wild. But I'll have more thoughts on that, more detailed thoughts on that. We are also reading The Darkness That Comes Before. It's my third time reading it, and I'm really enjoying this extra time read. I think it's my third time, but I've read the rest of the series once. But so far I'm picking up things I didn't pick up before, and I just love this series, and I really want to get into kind of the nitty gritty of this series. Maybe do character studies or themes, or there's so many great ideas I have. Well, I don't know if they're great ideas, but they're good ideas. Whether or not I can pull it off is a whole other thing. But we'll see. So I hope to get into more detail soon. Put it that way. So yeah. Also, I am reading Berserk, and just when you think it can't get any worse, it can't get any darker, it somehow does. Berserk is there's a lot to the story. It's starting to really open up now. The world is opening up a lot more, and I'm enjoying it. It's just there's sometimes when it goes to a really dark place, and I think, did it really need to go that far? I mean, and this is me, I love dark stuff, but there's some times in this series I'm just like, was that really necessary? Do we really need that? But yeah, so yeah, enjoying it. Also reading random comics because I do the Weekly Pulls podcast on Page Chewing Comics and Manga, so I read some random stuff every week. But we plan to read a few books here coming up soon. Kind of a weird time of year because the holidays are coming up and everyone is busy, so we'll try to, we're going to be scheduling those. I know Sandman and Alan Moore Swamp Thing are on the list. So if you'd like to read with us, come on by on the forums and say hello and tell us about it. So I've also been reading Revival this week. I'm about halfway through. So this is my thing with Stephen King. I'm not a huge Stephen King fan. He's very hit or miss for me. There's books that I really enjoy, but there's even the books that I really enjoy, there's always something that just like isn't quite right for me. Let me give you an example. 11/22/63, really liked that book. I liked a lot of it, and at the end it kind of falls apart. I like the very, very end, but the events leading up to that felt very rushed. It felt kind of silly. It felt like a different book. I won't get into details, but so there's sometimes when, even when I really like a book, there's still some things that I'm not crazy about. With Revival, it's more of that. I'm enjoying the book, but there's times when we go off, and this is my problem with King, is that we get into a lot of detail. Now, I won't get into spoilers, but I'll give you an example. We have a character who learns a skill, let's say, and this person learning this skill is an important thing in the story. The problem I have is that we spend a lot of time getting into very detailed information about how this person learned this skill. And do we really need pages and pages and pages of explanation of details of how this person learned the skill, or just that he learned the skill? And there's other things there's other details that we like jump ahead in time, and we learn about challenges that person had during this time jump, but we don't get information. I think that some of the challenges that these characters would have gone through during the time jump would have been more interesting than getting into the nitty gritty of how this person learned this skill that was part of the story, but not a huge part of the story, at least not yet. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. But yeah, so that's my thing with King, is that he kind of goes off on these, and it's like, do we really need to know all this stuff? Like, is this really necessary? Do we really need to know all these details? Will this be better spent moving the story ahead? That's my problem with him. And while it's very well written, it's interesting, you just wonder, did I need all that? So yeah, that's one thing that really bothers me. I know some people don't mind, but in a book when it's like we're not going anywhere, we're just kind of like learning meaningless things. It's like, let's move on. Let's go. Like this is, let's keep things rolling. That's my thing with King. But so far, overall, I know it sounds like I don't like the book, but I am enjoying it. Curious to see where it goes, but he's great at writing characters. I just wish we spent a little bit less time on the details that aren't necessarily important, if that makes sense. So also, coming up, I wanted to tell you all about a upcoming group read we have. We will be reading Truth of Crowns by Carl D. Albert. Carl is a member of our community and great person to talk to. We'll be reading his book. We're trying to decide on a target date for a discussion. We're looking at December. But if someone is interested in reading and wants to have weekly or bi-weekly discussions to discuss as we read, let me know. I'll be happy to set something up, and we will make it happen. So yeah, that is coming up very soon, so be sure to check our forums. It's all the information's there. Come by and tell us if you want to read with us, and we'll try and figure it out. So this week we did start some themes for Friday Conversation. I know Friday Conversation started out as random stuff, like just get on and talk about whatever, and that's fun sometimes. It's fun a lot of times. But I thought, let's have some themes. Let's talk about certain. So my idea was like, let's talk about characters. Let's talk about storytelling. Let's talk about genres. Let's talk about adaptations and have kind of a theme. This last week, the theme was characters, and we actually stayed on task. I give Carl Albert a lot of credit for that because he helped us stay on task, on topic. But had a great time talking characters, different kinds of characters, challenges characters face, what kind of characters appeal to us, why they appeal to us. We had a great talk, so that's coming on Friday. Also, this last Friday, The Anatomy of Fear discussion with Zamil Akhtar, Holly Tinsley, and Tim Hardy is live. My podcast host had a weird thing on Friday. I'm not sure what happened, but there was some kind of issue with software, so hopefully everyone no one had trouble getting it. So yeah, also last week we did have the monthly wrap up. We have that every month at the end of the month, just to talk. It's just an excuse to get together. So yeah, so hope everyone's doing great. As I mentioned last time, I've been writing. I've been trying to read. I'm also trying to find a balance of time to read and creating content and stuff, and also getting some exercise in, because it really helps me with anxiety and nerves and depression, all that stuff. So I've been writing a lot. I've been trying to ride at least 100 miles a week. Next Saturday, we are planning a 100-mile ride. So wish me luck with that. I hope you all are having a great week. Hope you're doing well. And like I said, you can find us on pagechewing.com, on our forums. Come by and say hello. We'd love to hear from you. Also, I want to mention those of you who have reached out to me. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. All the support. I can't tell you how much it means. So thank you so much for reaching out and for being a friend. It really means a lot to me. So until next time, hope everyone's doing great. Let me know on the forums if you'd like to talk about what you've been reading. I'd love to hear about it. Do you have any goals for the month? I've been trying to set short-term goals. I've also been trying to journal, and that's been a challenge because you think you just buy the journal and then you magically journal, but it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. I'm having to get into the habit of pulling the journal out and actually using it every day, make it into a habit, making it into a routine. And I'm getting a little bit better, but I have a calendar now that I'm trying to keep on me at all times. That is, it's a process for sure. It's a process to journal and to do these kind of things. So it's been a little bit of a challenge, I have to say, but it's been good. I think it's good to get away from technology when you can, get offline and just grab a pen and write. I think it's good for you, at least for me anyway. So anyway, hope everyone is having a fantastic week. Like I said, I'd love to hear more about whatever it is you have going on. Reach out to me, and I hope to talk to all of you very soon. Hope you're having a great week.